quick update. This is not going to be plus 5 points, but it is going to be plus 10 points. Okay, if you complete and get it signed. If you've already noticed, I have already submitted or put the hard copy of the test review on Canvas. Okay, here let's go ahead and look at number 1. We have g divided by 15 plus 2 is equal to 3. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is get rid of the constant, which is positive 2. It's adding 2, so we're going to subtract 2. Okay, that is going to be a 0 pair. We have g over 15 is equal to 1. Okay, then here, currently, we are doing g divided by 15. Now, what is the inverse of division? That is multiplication. So we are going to multiply by 15. Okay, this is going to become a 1. We're going to have g is equal to positive 15, which is b. Okay, let's go on to number 2. Now, I've already done number 2 because there's another one that we can do together, okay? But I want to talk about this first. So, for a coefficient, we have to understand that the keywords are each, every, or per, okay? Excuse me. So, when we're looking at this, Erica paid $350 for dance classes. She paid a $125 registration fee. Anytime it is a registration fee, it is a flat fee. And then $25 for each week. Okay, she was enrolled in the classes. Which equation is best to find W, the number of weeks Erica was enrolled in dance classes? Well, here, I like for us to write this little list of things that we need, okay? And the reason why is because when you have a test, you can't highlight things. You can only make a list of what you need, right? So here, the coefficient is the m, and I've made a little arrow here saying that what that means is that if you see each, every, or per, then that is your coefficient, okay? Constant is your initial or your one-time fee, okay, your starting point. And that would be $125 because a registration fee is a one-time fee, okay? Then we have the total, which is $350. Now, we write this in the form of mx plus b equals y, which is going to be 25x plus 125 equals 350. The only one that matches that is going to be D, okay? Writing x instead of w doesn't make it any different. It's still the same thing. The x, the w are just variables, okay? So our answer is going to be D. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is wanting us to solve and then plot. So here, negative 7x minus 13 is greater than or equal to 8. Here, when we solve, the first thing that we want to do is get rid of the negative 13. So we're going to add 13. Negative 7x is greater than or equal to 21, okay? All right, now I have to go ahead and divide by a negative 7 on both sides. This becomes a 1. We get x. Now, I'm going to leave a space here for my symbol, okay? So, 21 divided by negative 7 is going to be negative 3. Okay, so I'm going to write negative 3 on this side. Now, the only thing that's left to put down in the middle is going to be our symbol. Now, the reason why I left a space is because I want us to check, and I want you to ask yourself, did I divide or multiply by negative? Yes, then that means that this symbol is going to flip. Okay, so now I should have x is less than or equal to negative 3. Okay, now remember we have our little trick that if we have this point facing the left or the right, that's the way that we're going to shade in. So I know that I'm going to shade towards the left. So if I look at my answer choices, I have B facing towards the right. D is facing towards the right. Now I know that my closed circle has to be on negative 3. So if I look at A, that's on negative 3. If I look at C, that's on positive 3. So C is also not my answer, okay? Basically there we use process of elimination, okay? All right, let's go to number 4. All you have to do here is basically substitute the value of x into each one. So here we have negative 3 times 6 minus 5 is equal to 10, okay? So I know that negative 3 times positive 6 is going to give me negative 18. And then I know that I'm going to have to add those two because they're the same sign. So I'm going to get negative 23. Now, negative 23 is not equal to each other. Negative 23 and 10 are not equal to each other. So A cannot be our answer. Okay, let's go to the next question. We have B, which is going to be, by the way, this one was A. Let's do B. B was negative 6 plus 2 is equal to 3. So here we have negative 6 and positive 2. They are different signs, so we're going to subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. So 6 minus 2, that would be 4. 6 is the bigger number. We keep it negative. That also does not equal each other, so B is not correct. Let's try C. Negative 2 times 6 minus 1 is equal to 13. Okay, so negative 2 times positive 6 is going to be a negative 12. Okay, now I know that I have two of the same signs, so we are going to add and keep the sign. So that would be negative 13. Now, negative 13 does not equal positive 13. So C is also not our answer. Okay. Now let's just check to make sure we did all our work right. Okay, we have negative 5 times 6 minus 3 is equal to negative 33. So here I have negative 5 times positive 6. That's going to give me a negative 30. And then here, I know that I have two negatives, so we're going to add and keep the sign. So that would be negative 33 is equal to negative 33. That checks out, so D is our answer. Okay, pause if you need to. All right, number 5. All you have to do here is solve, okay? So here we have positive 12. We're going to get rid of, or we're going to cancel out first. Positive 12 over here. This becomes a zero pair. We bring down negative 3x is less than, and then here we're going to have 27, okay? Then we're going to get rid of the negative 3, which is the coefficient, by doing the inverse operation of multiplication. So we're going to do negative 3 divided by negative 3. Okay, that means we're going to get that. So far, we're on the right track. I'm going to leave this space open. I'm going to divide 27 by negative 3, and that is going to be negative 9. Okay. All right. Here is where I have to come back over here and I have to look. Did I divide or multiply by a negative? Yes. So that means my sign is going to flip. So I should have x is greater than negative 9. Okay. And if I look over here at my answer choices, I can't do A and I can't do B. I can't do C either. My answer is D. Okay. All right, pause if you need to. I am going to go ahead and go to page 2. All right, so here is page 2. Now, on page 2, I want us to take a look at this one because it's not that hard, okay? There's a strategy that we can use, okay? The first thing is we want to take a look at this equation. It's given us an equation and we have to find the correct situation that represents it, okay? So what I like to do is I like to write my my con, my, what is it called? Total, okay? And here, I'm going to take a look at this. I know that this right here is my coefficient. So my coefficient is 65, okay? My con is 250 because that is what's being added, and my total is 575. All right, now that I have those 2 or 3 things, okay, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make 4 of these, okay? Now here's why I'm doing this, okay? This is going to be answer choice A, answer choice B, C, and then D, okay? All I'm going to do here is write con, and total, okay? So let's look at A. A says Jeremy's traveling to a location that is 575 miles. He has already traveled 250 miles. what is X number of hours that Jeremy will need to travel at a speed of 65 miles per hour. So I see per, so I see that that is 65. I'm going to write that down. And then I see that he wants to travel 575 miles away. So that is our total right there. And our con is 250. Does that match what we have up here? 65 for the co, 250 and 575. Yes, this could be our answer. Let's check B though, and C and D. Okay, so with B, it says that he's reading a book with 575 pages. He has already read 65 pages and will read 250 pages per day. I like starting off with the coefficient because here already I can say that 250 pages per day is going to be wrong because we have 65, okay? But let's continue. Con, 65 pages, and then total 575, okay? So they have switched co and con. So it cannot be B, okay? Let's look at C. Jeremy is traveling to a location that is 575 miles away. He has already traveled 250 miles. What is X, the number of additional miles that Jeremy will need to travel? So here we have a total that is 575. Okay. It looks like we have a con as well, which is going to be 250. But do we have a coefficient? Doesn't look like it. It's kind of empty there, okay? So it cannot be C because it doesn't have a coefficient. All right, so let's look at the last one, co, con, and total. Okay, so here it says that Jeremy's reading a book with 575 pages. He has already read 315 pages. And again, this one also doesn't have any other number besides those two. So coefficient, doesn't look like we have that. Constant, that looks like it says 315 and then 575. That doesn't match what we have, right? So it also cannot be D. So it's not B, it's not C, it's not D. The only choice is A. Okay, that strategy right there will help you in a way compare everything that you have. Okay. All right, pause if you need to. Let's go to 7. So I have already written down my co, my con, and my total. Okay. Jamie has joined a local gym. As of right now, she has spent a total of $453. The membership fee is $49 per month, and a $155 flat fee for joining. Okay. So she has spent $453 as of right now. So that's a total of money that she has spent. Okay, then I see that there's a per. That number goes, or the number that goes with it is 49. So 49 is my coefficient. And then here, 159 flat fee. If it's a flat fee, again, that's a one-time fee. So that would be 159 here. So we write this as mx plus b equals y. I'm going to have 49x plus 159 equals 453. Okay, now I see that I have 453 here. That can't be it because this should be 49. This should be 49, so that can be it. These two are good. But now let's look at this. It does say that she spent a total of 453, okay? And it does say that she's going to pay 159 flat fee. But here, we're adding up the total amount of money she spent. So we would not have a negative 159, okay? It would be A. All right, let's take a look at A. Pause if you need to. Which is the solution set for the inequality. So here all we're doing is solving. So here this has a positive because there's nothing in front of it. It's technically a positive. So we're going to subtract 4. This would give us 35. Negative 5g. We would divide by negative 5. Okay. Now this becomes a 1. I'm going to leave this space blank because I'm working with inequalities. I want to check my last question. Okay, then 35 divided by 5. I know that 5 times 7 is going to give me, and it has to be a negative 7 because I have a positive 35. Remember this, guys. You have a negative, you have a positive, so the only one that's left is a negative. Okay, now let's look at our sign. Did I divide by a negative coefficient or multiply by a negative coefficient? Yes, so that means the symbol is going to change to the other side. So that means my answer is D. Okay, pause if you need to. I'm going to number 9. What is the solution set for 5 minus 8n is less than 16.2? So when we work with decimals, I have found that sometimes students feel a little bit like uneasy, okay, especially if you have to divide, okay? So here, let's look at this. We have a positive 5, so we are going to subtract 5. Now remember, you have to line up your decimals, so you're going to have to do minus 5.0. 2 minus 0 would be 2, 6 minus 5 would be 1, and then you just bring down the other one. So my answer is 11.2, and is going to stay positive. All right, now here, negative 8n is less than 11.2. Okay, now here I'm going to divide by negative 8. Divide by negative 8 becomes a 1 here. I'm going to leave a space because we're working with inequalities. And let's go ahead and divide over here. 11.2 divided by 8. So I know that 8 can go into 11 one time. Okay, 8 times 1 is 8. That would be 3. Bring down the 2. 8 can go into 32 4 times. That would be exactly 32. Okay, and all I'm doing is bringing up that 1.4. Now, here is where we need our Dorito man, because I have a positive 11.2. I have a negative 8. That means my answer is going to be negative 1.4. Okay, now going back over here and looking, did I divide or multiply by a negative 8? Yes, or by a negative coefficient? Yes, I did. So my symbol flips. Okay, so that means here I'm going to have n is less, or excuse me, n is greater than, or n is greater than negative 1.4. Sorry, had a little brain fart there. All right, go ahead and pause if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and start moving to the next page. All right, what is the solution set for this inequality? All right, so here, let's go ahead and check this. We have negative 8x plus 40 is greater than negative 16, okay? So here we're getting rid of the positive 40 by doing negative 40, okay? Negative 8x is greater than, and this would be negative 56, okay? Great. So now let's go ahead and divide by a negative 8. We have a 1 here, x, and remember, inequality, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this open. And I'm going to go ahead and divide 56 divided by 8, okay? I know that if I divide 56 by 8, I'm going to have a 7 as my answer. Now let's check what symbol or what sign it's going to be. I have a negative 56, I have a negative 8, so that leaves me with a positive 7, okay? Now, all I have to do is go back and ask myself, did I divide or multiply by a negative coefficient? Yes, I did. So that means that my symbol flips the other way, okay? So it's not going to be 3. I don't have an answer of negative 3. It's going to be a positive 7. I just have to look at the symbol. This one's facing the wrong way, so it is B. All right, let's look at 11. Now, 11 is just like I can't even remember which question it was now, but the one that we did earlier, okay? You have this right here that you're looking at. You're going to write co, which is your M, con, which is your B, and total. The only difference is that now you're also including a symbol, okay? So here, the coefficient is going to be 1.25 because that is the one that is with x, okay? We're going to have a negative 6.50. Your total is 50, and then your symbol is greater than, okay? So let's go ahead, and this one instead, I'm going to split it this way, okay? I'm going to do A right here, okay? So we have co, con, total, and symbol. Okay, And you can just write this on all of them because you want to know what it is for all of them. Okay, so I'm going to write it in all of them. So we're ready and we're not wasting time writing every single one of these. Okay, so here, this is B. Actually, I take that back. This is B, this is C, and this is D. Okay, so for A, Bobby charges $125 for gasoline plus $6.50 per hour. Okay, so right here it says $6.50 per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and put my coefficient down. Okay, there we go. And then it says 125 is being charged as well. So that's my constant, and it wants to know how many hours he has to mow lawns to earn more than 50. Okay, so more than is a symbol, and then 50 is the total. So this seems to be right, and this seems to be right. But here, these two have switched spots. The coefficient is not 6.25, but 1.25. So A is not our answer. Okay, let's look at B. Drew has a balance of $6.50 in his savings account and deposits $125 each week. So far with the coefficient, we're on the right spot. It says each, that's the coefficient. Okay, and then the con is saying $6.50. We might be on the right track, might. Okay, it's asking for when or how much Drew must deposit $125 in order to have a balance of more than $50. So it looks like this might be correct. This is good. This is good. This may be okay. This is good. I'm saying that for the constant because I want you to pay attention to this. It says Drew has a balance of $6.50. If he has a balance, if you have money in your savings account, I want you to think about, do you have money? Are you earning money? Do you have a positive amount of money, or do you have a negative amount of money? Well, I know that if I have money in my savings account, I have a positive amount of money. Okay, so this is positive. We need a negative 6.50, so it cannot be B. Okay, let's take a look at C. So it says that Stefan spends $6.50. Now, what does it mean if you spend money? Is this possibly going to be the negative $6.50? Okay, so let's keep moving. So he spends $6.50 on supplies for a lemonade stand and sells each cup for $125. Okay, I have my coefficient there, 1.25. I believe that negative 6.50 is going to be my constant. I have a total of money that I want to earn, which is $50, and I want to earn more than 50. Okay, so far, so good. Okay, this is correct, this is good, this is good, and this is good. So I think that C is my answer. Can we check D? Absolutely. Ricky earns $125 for doing chores and has to pay a monthly charge of $6.50 for his cell phone. So already right here, if I go over here, $50 per month at the very bottom. So that means that my coefficient is 50. Because of that alone, this one can't be it either. Okay, so that little strategy is just to help you, I guess, compare everything. So let's go to number 12. A company spends $80 to set up a print-specific t-shirt design, charges $10 per shirt, and it wants us to find out which is the best inequality that represents how many t-shirts the company needs to sell to pay for his setup costs and earn a profit of at least $200. Okay, so again, con, total, and symbol. Okay, so the coefficient, I see that this says per and it's with the $10, so that's going to be $10. Constant, let's keep looking. So it says here at the end how many shirts he needs to sell to pay for setup cost and earn a profit of at least $200. So at least $200. That at least tells me that this is the inequality symbol on the other side. So that total is 200. And think about it. If I tell you guys you need to do at least 6 questions on this assignment, that means you can do a minimum of 6 questions. You can do 6 questions or more. So our inequality symbol has to be greater than or equal to, okay? All right, now let's go back. The only number that's left is going to be 80. And if he's spending money, is that going to be a positive or a negative amount? Well, if I look over here, he's charging. Is that a positive or negative amount? This one, he's losing money. And when he's charging, he's actually gaining money, okay? So that means this one is going to be negative 80. All right, now let's set this up as mx plus b equals y. We have 10x minus 80 is, and I wrote equals to. It shouldn't be equals to, should it, guys? Let's fix that. This should actually be greater than or equal to y. And then over here, we're going to plug in y with 200. So our answer, now I see that these two have plus 80. That can be it. Now let's look over here to A and B. We need this symbol here, and A has the symbol that's facing the other way. So I know that this cannot be my answer. It is B. Okay, let's go to number 13. Okay, pause if you need to or go back. All right, I don't like my equation set up this way because I like to have this on the left side. So let's fix that. 12x plus 20. Now, when you move something around, when you rearrange things, this has to stay facing, or it has to stay opened towards 12x plus 20. So I'm going to write it like this. Okay. Now I can solve, and my x will always stay on the left-hand side. So minus 20 minus 20, that becomes a 0 pair. 12x is greater than, and here I'm going to have 6. 5 minus 2 is 3, so that is 36. Okay? And if this becomes a 1. If I divide 36 by 12, I'm going to get 3. Okay? That is my final answer, okay, which is going to be D. All right, pause if you need to. I'm going to go to the next page. All right, number 14 is the same that we've done in the other ones, okay? So here, I'm just going to highlight the information I need. Starting off, Jacob has 150 each month. His mom gives him 24 marbles more. Which inequality can be used to find M, the number of months after starting that Jacob will have more than 600? Okay, so each month he gets 25 more, so that's 25. Con, well, starting off he had 150. Total, or the other side of the equal sign, we want him to have more than 600 marbles. And of course, our symbol is going to be more than, okay? So let's go ahead and knock off some things based on this alone, okay? So I know that it cannot be this symbol, so D's off the list, and so is B. So it's between A and C. So mx plus b equals y. So I know that I would have 25x plus 150 is equal to, not equal to, greater than 600. Okay, with that being said, let's look at our options. So this one has 25 for the coefficient, 150, it has the correct symbol, and has 600. If I look over here, this is correct, this is correct, but then here, these two switch spots. So it cannot be A, it is C. All right, pause if you need to. I'm going on to number 15. Okay, what is the solution for the equation below? So here, 0.4x plus 2.9 is equal to 1.5. Again, we're working with decimals, and I know y'all don't like working with decimals. Okay, so here, we want to get rid of the positive 2.9, so we're going to subtract 2.9. That's going to give this a 0 pair. We're going to have 0.4x is equal to, and now, we have to do 2.9 first, that's the bigger number, minus 1.5, line up your decimals. 9 minus 5 is 4, 2 minus 1 is 1. So I would have 1.4, okay? And it would be negative 1.4 because we're keeping the sign of the larger number, which is 2.9. Then we're going to divide by 0.4, okay? And this is where it starts getting a little bit because we don't like to divide by decimals. But let's work this out together. So negative 1.4 divided by 0.4. How many times can 4 go into 14? Remember, right now, you're not worried about the decimals. 4 can go into 14 3 times. 4 times 3 would be 12. Okay? We would subtract it. We would get 2. Add a 0 and bring it down to make 20. And here, 4 can go into 25 times. Okay? Now, here is where we're going to move this over here, and then bring it up so we get 3.5. Now, are we going to have a positive or a negative 3.5? Let's talk about this, okay? If I do my Dorito Man, I have a negative 1.4. I have a positive 0.4, and I'm left with a negative. So my answer is going to be negative 3.5, which is D, okay? Pause if you need to. I'm going to number 16. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and do this one. Right here in between this is an equal sign. This side right here is going to equal this side, okay? So when we write this out in algebraic form, we're going to have 3x plus 6, is equal to 9. And then all you're going to do is solve. So minus 6 minus 6, this becomes a 0 pair. 3x is equal to 9 minus 6, which would give us 3. Then we're going to divide by 3. That gives you 1. X is equal to positive 1. Okay, that's your solution for this equation. All right, let's go to the next question. Pause if you need to. I'm going to 17. Okay, so 17 is going to be just like the ones we've already done so many of. Okay, so Connor has 300 trading cards. Each week, Connor purchases 50 more. So each week. All right. Which inequality can be used to find W, the number of weeks after starting his collection, when Connor will have more than 850 trading cards? So here, coefficient. Well, I have each week here, and that goes with 50 more. So 50. Then I have Con, okay? He started off, he already has 300 cards. Then I need my total and my symbol, okay? So my total, I want him, or he wants to have 850 or more. So that's the total that he wants. And then here, we know that he wants to have more than. So that is going to be this symbol here, okay? All right, if we put this in as mx plus b equals y, okay? Okay, there we go. So we would have 50x plus 300 is equal to, not equal to, what did we say? We want it to be more than 850. There we go. Okay, again, remember, these have W's, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay, which one matches yours? Well, I know that this one doesn't because it has 300 next to the variable. And this one doesn't for the same reason. Okay, now let's look at the signs. Well, we want it opened towards the left. Okay, this one is open towards the right. So this is not correct. It's A. Pause if you need to. Okay. Pause if you need to here. I'm going to go to the next page. All right, we're almost done, guys. I don't know how long this has taken, but I'm trying to do as much as I can to help you guys. All right, so here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we would have 5x plus 6 equals 1. You're going to solve like you normally do. Okay, minus 6 minus 6. 5x is equal to, now here's where you would have 6 minus 1. That is going to be 5. But remember, we're taking the sign of the bigger number, which is negative 6. So our answer is a negative 5. We're going to divide by 5 on both sides. We're going to get x is equal to negative 1. Okay? All right. So here that means that our answer is B. let's go to number 19. What is the value of x in this situation? I can leave it like this, or I can change it to where I have my x on the left side. I like the second way. So 2x minus 10 equals 28. Okay? All right, so here I'm going to add 10 to both sides. 2x is going to equal 38. Okay? I'm going to divide by 2. This is going to become 1. And let's go ahead and divide 38 divided by 2. So 2 can go into 3 one time. That would be 2. We're going to subtract. That'd be 1. And then bring down the 8 to make 18. 2 can go into 18. 9, right? Okay, double checking myself with my calculator. 1 second, guys. Yes, okay. I think in the copy of the notes I put 18. I'm sorry. If y'all did 19, you are correct, okay? So here, this is x is equal to 19. I was a rush when I did that copy, okay? So here, your answer is 19. And I saw a lot of y'all in class were telling me 19, and if I told you were correct, it's because you are, okay? All right, let's go to page number 20. Pause if you need to. All right, I'm going to go ahead and solve right here, okay? This is my constant. I want to get rid of it first, so I'm going to do positive 1.23 plus 1.23. I can add the 0 here and then just add right here. So that would be 3, 5, 6, 7, 4.73. Okay, then I'm going to divide by 0.5. Again, I know we don't like to work with decimals. Okay, so here 4.73 divided by 0.5 or 0.5. We're forgetting about the decimals. How many times can 5 go into 47? Well, I know that 5 times 9 is 45, and I can't go any further than that. And this is going to be 2. Bring down the 3. 5 can go into 23 4 times, and that will be 20. Drop or subtract, and that would give me 3. Bring down another 0. Now, I know that 5 can go into 36 times. That would be exactly 30, and I'm done, okay? Now, all I have to do is move the decimal over once, move it over once here, and then bring it up in between 9 and 4. So my answer is going to be 9 and 46/100ths, okay? All right, let's do number 21. Again, I don't like putting it this way. I like actually solving it this way. Negative 12x. Now remember that negative has to go with it. Minus 7 is equal to 53. Now we can solve it. This is our constant. We're going to add 7. Okay, so 53 plus 7 is going to give me 60. And then I'm going to bring down negative 12x. I'm going to divide by negative 12 on both sides. Okay, now I know that if I do 12 times 5, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 1 is going to be 5, plus 1 is 60. So that means that 5 is going to be my answer. Is it going to be positive or negative though? So if we do this, okay, 60 is a positive, negative 12 is a negative, and I'm left with a negative. So my answer is negative 5. Okay. All right, going to the last page. If you need to go ahead and pause, go ahead and pause. All right, last 2 questions. Whew, we're almost there. Final stretch, okay? All right, so Walter and Brian, they have CDs, okay? I have Walter and I have Brian, okay? Walter, his CDs can be represented by X. Just one X, okay? And then Brian's collection is 3 times the number of Walter's collections. So I know that we don't know what Walter's collection is. We just know that it is X. Okay? So we could do 3 times the amount of Walter's, which is just X. So 3X would be our answer, okay? Both of these added together, if we look at bullet point number 3, it says that the total of CDs in both collections, so Walter plus Brian, has to equal 144. So guess what we're doing with 1x plus 3x? We're adding 1x plus 3x equals 144. Now here, these are like terms because both of them have the same coefficient. I mean, not the same coefficient, the same exponent. It's just a 1 there, right? It doesn't have anything there. So basically, it's the same term. So we're going to add these two. 1 plus 3, that's going to be 4x equals 144. Now, all you have to do is divide by 4, okay? So here, 144 divided by 4. 4 can go into 14 3 times. That would be 12. And then 4 can go into 24 6 times. So my answer is 36. Now, let's think about this. What does this answer mean? Okay, so what it was asking us is, it wasn't really asking us anything. It was, what is X, the number of CDs in Walter's collection? So Walter has 36 CDs in his collection. What if I wanted to find out how many Brian has? What do I do? Well, all I'm going to take is 32 and multiply it by 3. So I would do 3 times 36, and that would give me my answer for Walter's, okay? Not Walter's, Brian's, excuse me. Let's do the last one. Had students make fun of me today whenever I said this. York Junior High, D&D. I said I don't know what D&D is. Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, Okay, so they are buying snow cones for $4 each, okay? The club also has to pay $10 for supplies, okay? The club cannot spend more than $200, okay? Cannot spend more, okay? All right, you don't have to solve this. It's already there for you. You don't have to write an equation for this, okay? The only thing you have to do is solve, okay? It just has this equation there, or this word problem there to confuse you, okay? Let's go ahead and solve it. 4x plus 10 is less than or equal to 200, okay? Minus 10 minus 10, this would be 190. For x, we are going to divide by 4 because we're trying to get rid of the coefficient, is less than or equal to, now let's go ahead and divide 190 divided by 4. 4 can go into 19. It would be 4. That would be 16. And then 3 here, and 4 can go into 30. I believe 4 times 7 will do the trick. That'll be 28. That'd be 2. Add a decimal and a 0. 4 can go into 25 times. So here the decimal just goes up. So we have an answer of 47.5. Okay? So here is what you need to make sure you understand. Not. Okay? Which of the following values is not a solution to this inequality? Well, here we have to go through and we have to substitute values, okay? So if I do 35 is less than or equal to 47.5, is that true or false? 35 is less than, so that's true. 40 is less than or equal to 47.5. Well, 40 is less than 47, so that's true. 47 is less than or equal to 47.5. Again, that's true. 47 is less than 47.5. And then last but not least, we have 52 is less than or equal to 47.5. Now, 52 is greater, not less than, so our answer is D. Okay? All right, take a pause if you need to. Good luck on the test. Y'all got this, guys. Y'all have been showing me some progress. I'm so proud of you guys. Keep pushing forward. Remember, get this signed by parents. Show all work on the test. Bye.